After 150 days of waiting and speculation, we finally know the title of the Centenary special of Doctor Who. In this video, I'm going to go over what it could mean, some new info and images, and some speculation and theories as to what this episode could be about. Okay, so the latest issue of Doctor Who magazine released this past week, and it features a 20-page interview with Sacha Dhawan, who plays the Master, about the Centenary special. This article features some new images and details about Centenary special, but the biggest aspect to be revealed about Centenary in this article is the title, The Power of the Doctor. Now, some people are a bit disappointed about this title, as it doesn't sound as good as some of the speculated titles people have come up with, such as The Woman Who Fell to Time, and it also sounds like a bit of a vague and generic title. However, this title isn't that different to previous titles. There is, of course, the episodes The Name of the Doctor, The Day of the Doctor, and The Time of the Doctor, but these titles acted as a trilogy of sorts for the 60th anniversary celebration, and as generic as the title The Day of the Doctor is, it is the title of the 50th anniversary of the show, so it is kind of perfect for that purpose. With that being said, this episode is the Centenary special, so you could argue that the same thing applies. However, this episode is celebrating 100 years of the BBC, not Doctor Who. Now, this title may sound vague, but it is absolutely possible there is some meaning behind this title that we don't understand yet, which I'm going to get into later on in this video. And at the end of the day, it is just a title. It's not really the most important aspect of the episode as a whole, but obviously some people feel quite strongly about this. Now, before I get into what I think the title could mean, I first want to go over some of the new images we've got from this issue of the magazine. Now, with this being an interview with Sacha Dhawan, who plays the Master, there are a significant amount of pictures of the Master, so I want to go through those first. The first of these I want to talk about is an image of the Master seemingly being arrested by UNIT. Now, to me, in this image, the Master doesn't look that evil, and he seems to be quite confused about what's going on, and he looks a bit more innocent than the Master normally looks. Now, this may support the theory that this is an early version of Dhawan's Master, before the events of Spyfall, and just after Missy redeemed herself in Series 10. And so this could support the theory that in this episode, we might see what made the Master turn evil again. Similarly, it's also possible that this might not be the Master, and it could actually be the original spy O, who the Master assumed the identity of in Spyfall. Now, it's also absolutely possible that the Master is just pretending to act like this so that they can manipulate the situation, which they're obviously known for doing in the past. Now, the next image of the Master I want to talk about is this clearer look at the Master with long hair and a beard, which we had seen previously in the trailer. Now, the pose and general look that the Master has in this image is very similar to that of Rasputin, and so I'm wondering if it's possible that the Master is disguising himself as Rasputin, or that Rasputin may have not actually ever existed and it was just the Master the whole time, similar to how the show Loki explains the origins of D.B. Cooper as just Loki. This could also be used to explain the alleged powers that real-life Rasputin had and how he was so difficult to kill because he may have just been the Master this whole time. Now, it is also absolutely possible this has nothing to do with Rasputin at all, but that pose is so very similar to a famous Rasputin picture that I think it'd be hard to argue. Now, the final image of the Master I want to talk about is this image of Master holding a tissue compressed figure that looks very similar to Yaz in previous images that we've seen of it, which may suggest that Yaz may have been shrunk by the tissue compression eliminator. Now, I think it's quite unlikely that this would be how Yaz dies in the episode, if she even does die at all, as I don't see why they'd be willing to spoil that here before the episode comes out, as it'd be quite a big plot point, you'd assume. As well as this, we've also seen Ashad is returning from some of the trailers, and as you may remember, he was also shrunk by the tissue compression eliminator at the end of The Timeless Children. So this may hint that the tissue compression eliminator may not actually kill characters, and that it may be possible to reverse the process. As well as these new images of the Master, we've also had some images of the Doctor with both Ace and Tegan, seemingly in Unit HQ with Kate Stewart. Now, with these images and the rumour that Graham will also be returning in this episode, I am a little bit worried that there may be too many companions to focus on, even in 90 minutes, and that there may not be enough time to focus on the Doctor and Yaz's relationship, which has been set up heavily in the past couple of episodes. But these companions returning may also link to a possible leak, and maybe even link to the title itself. So the first theory I have as to what the title of this episode could mean links to a possible leak that suggests that a plot point in this episode might focus on a companion support group that's been set up to support previous companions that the Doctor have travelled with. The title, The Power of the Doctor, could relate to the power the Doctor has over these companions, and this particular plot point of the episode could focus on how the Doctor affects their companions, how the companions' lives have changed after being with the Doctor, and the Doctor having to come to terms with the negative impact they can have on ordinary people that become their companions, which I personally personally think would be a really great plot point and a really good focus of this episode. But I do have some other theories as to why the title could be the power of the Doctor. The next theory I have for this is that this title could be hinting to the power of regeneration that the Doctor has, as this is of course a regeneration story. Although if that's all this title could be hinting to, I do think that really does reinforce how vague and generic of a title this could be, as we've known the Doctor has had the power to regenerate for quite a while and it's nothing new and probably not the most important aspect of this episode, as we've seen it happen multiple times before. So the third theory I have as to what the power of the Doctor could be hinting at is some hidden power that the Doctor's original species may have, which may be revealed in this episode, or that opening the watch may unlock this ability for the Doctor. Now this personally would be my least favourite option, as it would make the Doctor even more important than the Timeless Children already did, and I already have a few problems with that in the first place, as this would possibly permanently give the Doctor some powerful ability they previously didn't have, making them way more powerful than they already are, as they already have the ability to regenerate possibly infinitely at this point. So if that is what this is hinting to, I really hope that isn't the case, or it's at least somehow well done and maybe reverted again at the end of the episode, although I do feel like that would make it a little bit pointless and just there for the sake of a reveal, similar to the reveal that the Doctor isn't actually a Time Lord in The Timeless Children. So I guess that means it's absolutely possible that that's something Chibnall will do. As well as all this new information, we also have the trailer for Power of the Doctor that was released at the end of Legend of the Sea Devils. If you want to see me react to that trailer and break it down, as well as some more information about the episode that I haven't covered here, you can watch that video here.